This is Olivia Clement.
This is Isaac Sims, and I am Flyover Film Country. Me.
You are.
We are. We cover film.
Venom.
Venom. We cover film and TV and focus on stories set in places often forgotten by Hollywood, even if it's the middle of nowhere, like Venom is with Eddie Brock for the first third of this movie. Today we're going to be talking about Venom, The Last Dance, and answering a couple questions from listeners. We haven't done that in a while, so glad to be doing that again. And let's jump right in, shall we?
Let's jump right in. Yeah,
you want to hit our first question from Calvin?
From Calvin. What
up, Calvin?
has been film industry changing moments, and what will be next? Do you have your answer ready? I do.
This is our prepared response.
This is our prepared response.
We don't have the
Hands.
time. We don't have the time to. This could be like an entire podcast series. So we don't have the time, and we're not smart enough to answer it. But Olivia wisely pointed out when films, like pictures began to move, motion pictures, and then you added sound, and then you added color, and then hopefully not AI. That's what you said, right?
That is what I said before we started recording. Response. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I think
let the record state.
Sound, whenever they became talkies, and color, I was thinking about this with like The Wizard of Oz and how groundbreaking of a film that was and how vibrant it was because it was so cool. Anyway, so yeah, we could spend a whole lot of time talking about it, but I hope that whatever is next is not AI.
Yes, exactly. So. Also, and I know Calvin will appreciate this, but the first thing I thought of when I read his question was years ago when The Last of Us came out. I'm a huge fan of The Last of Us, and I know Calvin's played it as well. Neil Druckmann, the creator and director of the video game, said The Last of Us changed things in the video game industry. And he wasn't being glib. I think it was this quote is kind of taken out of context, but he said The Last of Us changed things in video games. It used to be that you would jump on people's heads and you would get coins, and The Last of Us changed things. And so someone did a timeline. It was like Super Mario Brothers, The Last of Us. Like it was just like a straight line between those two. So I think Calvin will find that funny.
Yeah, those were the only two video games that's ever existed.
All the ones that matter, you know.
I am.
And Stardew Valley, I put it like between The Last of Us 1 and 2. I think it released between those two. So
all right,
those are the only ones that matter. I thought about doing a like putting myself on YouTube playing The Last of Us because I've got pretty good at the no return mode. So not like really good, but I've gotten pretty good, you know?
Okay. All right. What's the next question?
Why are movies about dogs so sad? This is from Swagular Clevin, our finest fan. What? Why are there movies of like people just hanging with their dogs, like having a garage beer?
I don't know,
just
but
petting their dogs,
just having a good time. I don't know, but I'm at a point in my life where I won't watch a movie with a dog in it, just because I think it's gonna die, and I cannot. So I'm sure there are movies. Air Bud, nope, that starts out sad too.
I don't even remember how does it start out.
First of all, his owner was a clown, like an actual clown, and left him on the side of the road.
Was it Arthur Fleck?
Probably.
Oh my gosh.
So that's how that movie starts out. It's like he's in the rain and he's abandoned on the side of the road in the rain. And then he becomes the greatest point guard of all time. So.
Dang.
Yeah.
But does the clown die? Does his owner die?
I don't know if there's any justice for the owner. I think he just he gets away. So, yeah.
Does he think his life is a comedy?
I probably.
You didn't see Joker 2, did you?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So, did you see it?
No, I've had too much going on. And when I realized like how, what it was, or like I was kind of listening to people just get their like even surface level take on it, I was like, I'm not going to go see this. Like, I'm not in a good phase of life to see it with like, you know, too much going on, too much mental Ooh,
Oh, yeah. Wow.
You want to take our third question, also from Swagular?
Yes, from Swagular. Does Rango have the best modern film score? Bluegrass Ride of the Valkyries. I've never seen Rango, so I can't weigh in on this. No, I understand that. I know what that is.
I'm not saying you're not a person of culture. I just like Ride of the Valkyries showed up on a But Ride of the Valkyries showed up on a list of needle drops that need to go away, and I just like completely disagree. I think it needs to. I think it needs to show up in every movie. You know what? Okay. I think it could have made Joker fully do better.
Okay.
Honestly.
Sure. Yeah. I think that's fair.
I think don't kill me, Steven. I just hope you still fund our or finance our movie about dudes having garage beers with their yellow labs. But I didn't listen to the Rango score before this recording. It is really good. I have listened to it before. It's got to be up there. That's my
do you know who did
professional. Was it oh shoot.
Oh,
it wasn't Hans, was it?
It was Hans.
It was
Hans.
Yeah, because I was like it was Gore Verbinski. So yeah.
I feel like it was a big name. It was Hans.
Yeah.
It was Hans Zimmer who composed the score for that. So you know what? It could be the greatest or the best. So anyway,
Gore Verbinski. It would be really fun to do like a little filmography or like we cover his movies.
Yeah.
Because he's underrated as a modern director, you know?
Sure, we can do that.
Every single one's a banger.
We can do whatever we want. It's our podcast.
Speaking of that, do you want to, instead of talking about if we can do whatever we want, should we just talk about Venom right now?
Venom. Yes, let's do that. All right, so we're going to be talking about Venom: The Last Dance, which is the third and possible final installment of the Tom Hardy. Yeah, question mark. Tom Hardy Venom trilogy. So in this one, I'm going to do a quick synopsis. We find Eddie Brock and Venom on the run from both of their worlds. As their worlds close in on the duo, they have to make a decision that could end their symbiotic relationship. Dun, dun, dun!
Kind of like you and me on the podcast.
Right. Right.
I wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat and you're like, eat a lobster.
I am the voice inside Isaac's head.
Okay, so two things. First of all, spoilers for Venom: The Last Dance. We're not going to do any of this. We don't believe in like a spoiler-free discussion. We just lay it out all on the table. You know? We're bringing all the groceries in and like the dairy's mixed in with the meat, you know?
Right.
So cue spoiler warning now.
Warning!
Second thing,
Number
Olivia
two.
and I want to get number two. We want to get this out of the way at the beginning. We know the Sony Marvel movies are bad.
Yeah.
We talked about Madam Web earlier this year.
We did.
We'll probably talk about Craven the Hunter.
We probably will.
He got bit by a lion. Don't you know?
Don't you know?
So if you're listening to this, like, we know they're bad, but we like Venom. Venom's dumb and fun.
Yeah.
And it knows it is. That's why we're talking about it.
Yes.
So what was your star rating for Venom?
I think I gave it a 3.5. And here's the thing. If I give a movie a 3.5, that doesn't mean it wasn't like bad, and it doesn't mean it wasn't spectacular. Like, to me, a 3.5 is just like it was a movie that I was entertained by, or I had a good time while watching. And to me, that was Venom: The Last Dance. So what was your star out of 5?
Mine was 3. And okay, I think I'm remembering this correctly, because I almost gave it 2.5, and I was like, I just had too good a time, and I was like just a little bit too surprised to only give it 2.5.
Sure.
I knew that there was gonna be like goopy CGI. What I didn't think there were gonna be were moments where the movie grinds to a halt and it's just Tom Hardy like actually having moments of stillness where he's like talking to Venom. And I was like, this is really weird, but it's working. And unlike a lot of my experience watching Madam Web, and there was pretty inventive camera movement, and what else? Like I was just surprised. Like I was chuckling because I was like, yeah, a great Venom fish. Great Venom frog. Yeah, Venom horse. Like I honestly wish there would have been a little bit more of that. Like I wish Mrs. Chen would have turned into Venom. But that
would have been cool.
That would have been great. It would have been cool if the family turned into Venom. That would have been cool. But I was like, when they all turned into Venom, I was like, this is cool. This is fun. This is why I'm here. You know, it was a little bit of like a Shazam effect. But yeah, I was just like, this is dumb. And like, I'm in and out. Hour and a half, baby. I'm going home. You know?
Yeah.
Going to sleep.
Yeah, I think it was fun. I went with my mom, who not because this was something we planned to do, but like I had seen the other two Venom movies with both my parents, and this time my dad was like, I don't want to see it. And so it was just a girls trip. And so my mom and I went to go see it, and surprisingly there were a lot of like little kids, like 5-6-year-old kids at the theater, and my mom was like, I don't know if I would have let y'all go see that. And I was like, I think if we talked you into it, I think we could have done that, Mom.
Was it rated R?
No,
there's some
it's PG-13.
Right? Oh, is it PG-13? Okay.
There's one F-bomb. I don't even remember who says it, but there was just one, and so it was rated PG-13 because of that. But
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was your favorite scene?
I literally guffawed when Venom Fish.
Yeah.
Happened.
Venom Fish was
I
good.
didn't see that happen. You knew that Venom Frog was happening and that Venom Horse was happening. But I was just watching it with like an eye to him. Like I also really laughed whenever he compulsively like spent all of their money in like 30 seconds.
Yes.
And Tom Hardy's looking over at the dude and he's like just pounding the button. And the acting is so impressive because you really buy that he's like not meaning to like pound the button that hard, and like the smile that he's giving this dude next to him.
Yeah.
It's funny. And
it was funny.
Like,
it was funny.
And like all of these movies, these 3 movies, you're like, this guy is not a journalist. Like
right.
that's the other thing that's so funny is like, I'm just don't buy that this guy's a journalist, and that makes everything that's happening so much funnier because none of this is plausible.
Well, see, and that's something I was just telling Isaac before we started recording that I recently got a subscription to Marvel Unlimited, and I think part of the reason I got that subscription is so I can read more about Venom, because I don't really know anything about Venom or like the story of him and Eddie Brock outside of like Spider-Man 3 and these movies, and I guess the Spider-Man 2 video game. But even that, it's like I don't know that much about Eddie Brock, and I know he's a journalist, but the whole time in these movies, at least, it's like, what is he doing? Like, what is happening? I also didn't know this until after I saw the movie. These 3 movies take place within a year. And
you look at Tom Hardy in Venom 1.
Yeah.
And Tom Hardy in Venom 3. It looks like he's like 20 years older.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of ridiculous, but it's fun, and who cares, honestly. Like, these movies are not, I don't think they're meant to be like taken too seriously, and I think that's one of the reasons why they work, because I think Tom Hardy genuinely loves the character of Eddie Brock in Venom, and he just enjoys playing that character, which I can really respect, and he knows it's not that deep. Whereas, with like Jared Leto and Morbius, like Jared Leto's just a freak anyway, right? Like, he's just a psychopath, and so
with no sense of humor.
And there's no levity to it, and so it's just like man, this movie was so bad for so many reasons. Whereas like Venom, it's like no, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were about.
Yep.
And I can appreciate that so much more than someone who's like, this is gonna be so deep and so meaningful, and it's not at all.
And it's refreshing to like, so at the beginning of the movie, I don't really like that there were, references to. That's funny. Olivia just put her drink. Dong.
I hit the mic stand and it made I didn't expect it to make that loud of a noise. Sorry, Walter.
It sounds like maybe we could capture that and use it in the future.
I think we should.
Yeah, we should. And it's so funny because they're basically, everyone is mad about the multiverse stuff with the MCU. And at the end of No Way Home, right?
Yeah.
Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock is pulled, and it's like, oh, I'm just falling asleep trying to explain it. He was pulled into the Marvel universe.
Right.
But then at the beginning of this movie, he's pulled back into the Sony verse. You're just like, why? Like, why? It all could have happened, in the other verse. But neither here nor there. They talk about like, I'm tired of the multiverse. Venom says that at one point, and it happens in Deadpool and Wolverine. Everybody's just angry about it. But then they're just like, whatever, we're just going to move along with our movie, which is really funny. So, yeah.
So. Well, and it's funny that they say that in this Sony movie, because literally that's what they are making billions of dollars with the Spider-Verse movies. It's literally a multiverse, and they're making so much money from it, which is fine because those movies are fantastic. They're so good, but it's like you guys are doing this multiverse thing. Like, you guys are very much a part of it. Anyway, whatever. Yeah. Moving on.
Kelly Marcel directed it and wrote it, and I think she wrote Venom. Yeah, she wrote Venom 1 and 2 as well.
Okay.
And 50 Shades of Grey. Or she at least wrote.
Interesting.
Was a writer on it.
Okay.
But it was funny because like I ended up progressively liking. I didn't really like the first Venom, although I think if I went back and watched it again, I would think it's like pretty silly. But then Venom 2, I was just laughing, and Jess actually watched some of it with me because it was like right when we got back from the hospital having our second child, and I was just like, this is just so dumb, and like everybody involved knows that it's so dumb, and like I can't help but enjoy it. And Jess was like cracking up at a bunch of stuff because she was just like, I can't help but laugh at this because it's so ridiculous.
Sure. Well, and it's like they have the cast is these phenomenal actors. Like Tom Hardy is
Naomi Harris,
Woody
Harrelson,
Michelle Williams, like Michelle
Oscar
Williams,
winner Michelle Williams.
Which, hey, she got her start on Dawson's Creek, so she knows a thing or two about campy, stupid, silly stuff. So
true.
I'm gonna offend any elder millennial by saying that, but that's okay. So I love One Tree Hill, which is also stupid. So it's the same vein. But anyway, it's just they know what they are about.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you almost like you. I don't know, and I meant to look and see what the box office was, but like I knew that it had crossed 100 domestic this past weekend, so it's definitely it'll do fine.
Yeah.
But people were saying like, oh, it's diminishing returns and all this stuff, but it's still, people are still going to see it. Internationally, it's made 279.
Wow.
And so total, it's like up to 396. So it's like, that's good.
Yeah.
It's good for, it's not Deadpool and Wolverine numbers, but it's good numbers. So
I don't know if anyone's going to make Deadpool and Wolverine numbers this year. So
except maybe Walter when he gets scared in Heretic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The budget for this film was $120 million. So I mean, it's done it's more than doubled that. So,
Yep.
but
would you like to see him come back? And here's the other thing. Do you know about how Tom Hardy's like actually kind of like a difficult set presence? Like, have you heard about the Mad Max stuff? Yeah.
But that's not surprising to me.
He seems like a chill guy. Or like a fun or cool guy. Maybe not fun.
I would guess, I don't know what it is about him. I would guess, though, that he probably has the same kind of energy as Tom Cruise. In the sense that he, like, wants people to take it seriously and, like, cares about the craft of acting. And so especially if it's, like, something like Mad Max or something that's really meaningful or can be really meaningful to the audience, I think I just wouldn't be surprised if he takes it so seriously that it rubs people the wrong way. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I think he like had a ton of power, especially after first Venom made like almost $1 billion. And
right. Yeah. So, and I feel like in a lot of ways, this is his passion project, so to speak. And so I can see where someone who cares very much about this character would want to take a lot of control in a way that other people are like, okay, dude, chill.
Yeah. What would be do you think that they're going to try to get him to be, he has the star power and the, not producer power, but like he has the, not even star power, but like just the ability to just be like, I'm not going to do that. Like if Feige or someone else at Sony was just like, I guess Avi Arad would be the one to just be like, hey, we will give you like Tony Stark numbers or Downey Jr. numbers to face off against Tom Holland. He could probably say no, and he probably will because he's like getting older, and I don't know. What do you think they should do with Venom? Should it be Tom Hardy, or should they like?
I feel like they've set it up to be. It could be anyone. I mean, I think it's the character of Venom, or like the alien of Venom. I think he attaches himself to Eddie Brock most commonly in the comics, but they could go with anyone in it. But also, I don't know if I know it. Also, it doesn't matter because Marvel's going to do whatever they want. But I feel like, isn't Eddie Brock around Peter Parker's age anyway?
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
He's supposed to be.
So I guess it would be. And that's the thing that is really interesting is like, what if this Venom trilogy was like campy, dumb, so like 2 is kind of like a serial killer movie. This is I don't even know like what.
Sure, I don't call it
an alien movie or, yeah. First one, I don't know. Like, but a lot of it kind of revolves around an Abbott and Costello's Three Stooges. They're really Three Stooges movies. Like that's why they're successful for the most part, or that's why like people like them. Even if they're not successful. A lot of people would say they're not successful, but that's why they made a ton of money. Yeah. And what if they were like, hey, we'll give you $20 million. It's you and Garfield, and you're actually like acting for most of it. But then there are like 3 key fight scenes. And they're just like opposite each other. They're closer in age than him and Tom Holland.
Right.
That could be kind of interesting if they're just like
kind of
running gags and the Venom sense of humor is really funny. I mean, like obviously, clearly both of us think it's really funny. So that would be an interesting
I think,
and they could do,
especially
like,
if
you don't
they
have to come back for 3. You could just this once, and we'll see
Yeah.
what happens. And Kelly Marcel can direct it because they're friends and all that stuff. So,
and I think especially if they let like Garfield be the like quippy Peter Parker Spider-Man that like he is in the comics.
But he's older, like,
and
he's getting older. Like that could be. That could be interesting.
Okay, I'd watch it.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's call up Tom Hardy. Let's call up Kelly. Hey girl, we have an idea. Call up Tom, patch him in. We're gonna pitch this idea to you guys, and we're gonna make a ton of money. Money.
It's, yeah, like, or I don't know. It, like, you would think maybe he'll come back for Secret Wars, but there have been rumors that they're gonna try to get Jackman and Tobey Maguire to be like the two people leading like a cohort of another timeline of Avengers to fight Doctor Doom. And I feel like it's just going to be too overstuffed for no.
I have said this before. I'll say this again. I feel like this is almost better told. I don't feel like it's almost. I feel like it is better told in the medium of animation than live action. And I feel like that would be because like you see this with DC, right? Like with the Justice League show and like honestly, like there's a lot of really good and well-made animated Justice League movies that has all these characters in it, you know, all the DC characters in it, that it works so much better than the Justice League live action film. And there's lots of reasons why that film didn't work, right? But I don't know. I feel like if you do these big storylines, right? Like, you know, Secret Wars, that's a really big storyline in the comics. And so that incorporates so many different characters. Like every character essentially is incorporated into that storyline. And I don't know how you get all these huge people, like big names, like Hugh Jackman and like all these people to come in to film these scenes where you actually get to know these characters and feel like, I don't know, invested, you know? Because here's what I'm worried they're going to do with all this is like they do the Secret Wars storyline and they build up that they're going to incorporate all of these like characters that, you know, represent different minorities, different groups of people, and then they're not going to give them any sort of screen time or investment into these characters, and then they're going to be like, they're going to kill them off, and then it's going to be like, okay, why did you even introduce them? And it's almost like placating, I don't know, to say, oh, well, we had female characters, we had characters of this, you know, this particular group. And it's like, okay, but you killed them off and like no one cares that they died because no one was invested in them.
Yeah, and I mean, the character that comes to mind off of that is America Ferrera in Doctor Strange 2, who is a really cool character and got enough to do. Chavez.
Yes. America Ferrera is Ugly Betty. She's in Barbie, Sister of the Traveling Pants. Gotta Kick It Up.
Oscar nominee. Yeah.
Oscar nominated. Yeah. Anyway, I knew who you meant. I knew you did not mean.
Can you tell I haven't seen Multiverse of Madness since it came
out? Yeah.
Someone,
no, you're good.
I think it was on The Ringer, they said, like, when Doctor Strange came out, they said, we did this to ourselves. Like, we're hyping ourselves up to see all these people, and we have these insane expectations. And I think that's true. We do it to ourselves, or not you and I anymore, but like a lot of people do. But also, it's a matter of whether Marvel can live up to it, because apparently it did work with Deadpool and Wolverine. But I think, like, I'm betting that it's going to be diminishing returns if they try to do that a lot. And I know that they're probably having those conversations internally, and it's good.
They should be, if they're not.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But it's good that, like, we're getting, like, this has been a bad year for superhero movies or like
yeah,
or, you know, content, because like
yeah,
next year we're getting Superman, which is what I'm most excited for. We're getting Thunderbolts, Captain America: Brave New World, and Fantastic Four. Am I missing anything?
not that I can think of at the top of my head. Those are the big ones, I feel like. There might be another DC movie coming out, but nothing's coming to mind right now. I bet there's a DC show coming out. But like all of those things I'm like actually excited for. I wasn't really excited about Captain America, but I think with this newest trailer that has just come out in recent weeks, I'm a little more optimistic about it than I had been. And same for Thunderbolts. And part of that I know is because I love Florence Pugh so much. And pew, pew. But I'm also I'm also really excited about Bucky as kind of coming back as Winter Soldier, and David Harbour and his stupid, terrible Russian accent. Just, it gets me, and I love it so much. I know it's bad, but I love it.
And we can't forget John Walker, our guy.
And so I feel more optimistic about Thunderbolts and Captain America than I had previously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think next year will probably be a better year for superhero movies. And
Fantastic Four could reset.
Yes.
Like all of these expectations that we have. Which is honestly kind of all I want. I'm just kind of like, okay, let's just start clean. Don't get out ahead of in front of your skis, and I don't know, just do. And I think that they know that like we can't do Endgame again. It has to be like thematically different, more dramatic, and it can end in a fight scene, but it can't. There's got to be different stakes and nuances, and and like blends into genre, you know, that, and that's why Fantastic Four is going to be so interesting, because Matt Shackman like knows how to do that stuff, and it'll be cool. So
he did. We'll did he do WandaVision? Okay, that's what I thought. And so that's, I think, another reason why I'm really excited about Fantastic Four, because I just really enjoyed WandaVision, and the way that he was able to or that show was able to kind of go in through all these different types of television through the years was really cool. And so I think you're right, kind of blending these genres is going to be, I think, kind of key for Marvel moving forward. And I think DC knows that, James Gunn knows that, and that's what he's bringing to DC. So that'll be interesting to start seeing the James Gunn era of DC start to roll out next year. So anyway, I didn't expect us to really get into all of the comic book stuff, but I'm glad we did. I think that because I think that all like relates to Venom and the Sonyverse. So as opposed to just talking crap about how terrible the Sonyverse is, I'm glad we went this route instead, because we've, again, I know we said this earlier, we've talked about the Sonyverse. We'll probably talk about it more with Craven coming out next month?
Yeah, it's gonna make $1 billion.
Nice. It's gonna krill at the box office.
He's gonna bite some dudes' noses off.
He actually probably will.
Here's the thing. J.C. Chandor is a really good director. Have you seen any? Did you see like Triple Frontier when it dropped on Netflix, like right before the pandemic?
No. I don't know if I've seen anything directed by him.
He did Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Okay.
And
I haven't seen any of the new Jurassic World movies.
I think he did. Wait, surely he did. Why isn't this showing up on his
I don't know.
IMDb? I thought he did. Did they take it off? A Most Violent Year. It's Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain.
Oh yeah.
That's a good movie.
Okay.
And then now he's doing Craven, and and it also has some of the. Also, one reason why Triple Frontier is really bad. Spoilers, Walter, for Triple Frontier, right now.
Warning! Warning! Warning!
Triple Frontier. It's like it's Ben Affleck having a midlife crisis, and so he gets Oscar Isaac and a bunch of buddies to go like rob a Pablo Escobar figure in South America, and then Ben Affleck gets killed, and then they have to carry his body for like 30 minutes. It's so crazy.
Forgot about like, this movie.
Did you saw it? I'm sure you did.
No, I didn't see it. Here's the deal. Nothing about that sounds appealing to me. I don't care. I'm not gonna watch it. No, you
good.
Didn't.
Like it's just sad dudes like.
See,
being dudes with guns and going to steal in South America.
I'm fine. I mean,
but then he gets killed. You're like, oh my gosh,
killed.
Ben Affleck is because you thought it's like they're gonna get out. Like he has a kid and stuff, and that the Oscar Isaac or. It's either Oscar Isaac or Charlie Hunnam is like carrying him for like 30 minutes.
It should be Charlie Hunnam because I know Oscar Isaac is not.
Yeah,
he's not very tall.
Big enough
and Ben Affleck he's like 6'4" or something like that. He's
huge,
a huge man. So anyway,
so
how did we get here?
It's one of those things. Like I'm like I can't believe that's a real movie. Like it's not. It's good. It's like it's like Bad Heat.
Okay.
But still good. It's like a solid 6 or 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Anyway. What are we talking about? Venom?
I don't know how we got here. Why did we start talking about that movie?
Because J.C. Chandor directed it.
Oh, and he's directing Craven.
Here's who directed Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. J.A. Bayona, who I mixed up.
So close.
It's the J.
J's.
J.
Yeah.
He directed that movie, Society of the Snow. Do you remember that? It came out in 2023.
That feels vaguely familiar.
It's like it's the plane crash movie with the cannibals.
Oh yeah. Nope, didn't watch that one. Couldn't watch it. That was gonna be too much for me.
Yep.
So, no.
I draw the line of cannibalism.
And that's why you stopped watching Yellow Jackets.
And that's why I stopped. No. What has season 3 come out?
No. Which is crazy because it's been so long.
It did. Yeah, it was like the beginning of last year's when season 2 ended, right?
I think it ended in 22. I think it ended in 22.
Was it 22? Yeah.
So, there also hasn't been that many TV shows. Like I think good TV shows that people
Has that been the case? Like,
I think the biggest. At least from what I can tell on social media, Agatha all along has been like the big show now. And Penguin, which I need to catch up on. I did watch Agatha. I enjoyed it. I don't know if it's for everyone, but I liked it. I thought it was. It didn't feel like a Marvel show. It didn't feel like a Marvel show. It felt very unique, and I would honestly love to hear your thoughts on it.
Cool.
But I really liked it. I know a couple people who also watched it and really enjoyed it. Catherine Hahn is awesome. Aubrey Plaza is fantastic. The really the only guy. Yeah, so Joe Locke, I had never seen anything he's been in. I know he's in that show Heartstoppers on Netflix, which is pretty popular with the youth. But I haven't watched it. But everyone on that show said that he's just phenomenal and is a wonderful actor, and I mean he was great. So I really enjoyed it. So I'll be curious to hear your thoughts.
I've heard the same from many people. So I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. And like I never had any and I told you, I remember when we talked about the trailer and I was like, this looks like it could be good. And you were like...
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know. And guess what? I was wrong. I liked it a lot. So
you sure about that?
Are you sure about that? But I need to catch up on Penguin. Hopefully by the time we record next, I'll have finished the Penguin. The finale, I think, just aired a couple days ago as of this recording. So I need to watch that.
Have you seen the video of Benedict Cumberbatch went on Graham Norton. This was like years ago. And Graham Norton's like, why can't you say penguins? And he's like, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, when you did like Planet Earth, they show these clips and he's like, the penguins, like penguins.
I forgot about that video until just now. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Funny. It's really funny. The penguins.
The
and he's like, oh my god, I can't say penguins.
That's amazing.
Cool. Well, shall we wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up. Let's land this plane.
Let's land this Venom horse.
Venom.
Venom is the greatest. He's lethal protector. Thank you to Venom for sponsoring this episode. I wish. Don't know what we're talking about next, but we will be coming to you live every
doing
2
something.
weeks. So doing something. You keep a lookout, and we'll be there in your feed. Thank you for listening. Please remember to review, subscribe. Please give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, that helps us out a lot. Our art is by Macy Lemus. Our music is by Cord and Jocks. They're Little Rock artists. They're awesome. Go check them out. This episode was produced by Walter Lau. Thank you very much, Walter Lau. Hope you enjoyed Heretic. We'll have to hear your thoughts on it at the beginning of the next episode. And
That's
as
what we should
always,
talk about.
I don't know if I can see it. Maybe okay. Hey, I'm gonna have so much more
Hey,
time.
we'll talk off camera.
We'll talk offline. Yep. Yeah. We should connect. We should circle back on it.
Circle back.
Yep. Follow me on LinkedIn. And follow us on social medias.
That's right.
Olivia's doing a great job. Got it.
Thank you. I'm trying.
Except someone blocked us for the white chicks
Oh,
clip.
I don't
Did you
care.
see that?
Yeah, I did. Who cares?
I didn't
was
know
funny.
if you pulled that from YouTube, but I was like, okay, whatever. So
Yeah.
it's
Whatever.
all good.
I'm
Whatever.
trying.
You are. You're doing a great job. So
Thanks.
we getting those new views. So thank you. And to all, a good night. And also, don't forget, as always, Venom!
Venom!